Hello, everyone. This is Rabbi Kenneth Hahn for JUTV. It's Ask the Rabbi Thursdays. And I want to encourage you, if you're watching live, to even now invite friends to watch this broadcast. And if you're watching it later and you like it, share the link with your friends. So today's question, if you saw the teaser, is how many Jews are there in the world and where exactly do they live? And before I get into that, let me tell you why this question came up. Over the last couple of weeks, I spent 12 days. I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to spend 12 days in Europe with my family, and we were primarily in Lisbon, Portugal. We spent a few days in Lyon, France as well. But I was very aware of the incredible history of the Jews in Portugal, and yet today I'm aware that there was very little presence remaining of that group and that history, and so I was curious to know how many Jews live in Portugal today. So I looked it up, and I was astounded to find that the estimate is there's somewhere between 600 and 1,000 practicing Jews in the entire country. So that got me to thinking, how many Jews are there in the world and where do they live? And I thought I'd share that with you today. So the first major caveat we have to throw in here is who's Jewish? Counting is a real problem to begin with, but when you're not sure exactly what you're counting, it makes it all that much harder. So I looked to the work of an Israeli demographer named Sergio Della Pergola, who came up with several different categories of groups of Jews to then count them. So he refers to the core Jewish population, which I suppose is Jews around whose status there would be no disagreement. This would be someone with a Jewish mother who's a practicing Jew. He extends that out to what he calls the extended population, which would include people identifying partly as Jewish or who have at least one Jewish parent. Beyond that, he talks about Jewish households where there's a Jewish household but non-Jews in the household, and he counts those people. And then ultimately, he refers to the broadest category, which is actually the category for Israeli citizenship under the law of return, which is that an individual has at least one Jewish grandparent and doesn't profess a religion other than Judaism. You don't have to profess Judaism per se, but you cannot profess a religion other than Judaism. And so for those different categories, he found the following. In 2015, there were 14.3 million core Jews, if you will. In the extended population, that is, with at least one Jewish parent identifying as Jewish, there were 17.3 million Jews worldwide. With counting non-Jewish household members, it rose to 20.2 million. And if you kind of included everybody under that law of return categorization, it would be 23 million. Now, what does that mean by way of percentage? If there are about just under 7.5 billion people in the world, that means that currently we are at about 0.3% of the world's population. The highest time, by the way, demographers estimate for the Jewish population was in 1939, by way of percentage, when there were approximately 17 million what are defined here as core Jews, or core Jewish population, and with the world population, what it was at the time, which I believe was around 2.5, 2.4 billion, Jews made up about 1% of the world's population. Of course, by 1945, that 17 million number had been reduced to 11 million. So, where do the Jews live? No surprise here, about 83% of the world's Jewish population lives in only two countries. That would be Israel and the United States. Israel has about 6,100,000 Jews, and that is a hard count. That's a pretty solid number. The Jewish population in the United States is in much greater dispute, again because of issues related to who you're counting, but the estimate ranges on the low to 5.7 million to the high of 6.8 million. Where else do Jews live? The top 10 countries, of course, we know the first two are Israel and the United States, and I won't rank order them 1 and 2 because, again, there's issues about how many Jews are in the United States. But after that, the order is clear. France is number 3 with 500,000 to 600,000 Jews. Canada is in the 4th place with around 400,000, slightly less than 400,000 Jews. The UK is next with about 270,000 Jews, and the bottom 5 are Russia with 200,000, Argentina with slightly less than 200,000, and then Germany, Australia, and Brazil, each with about 100,000 Jews. Jewish population in Israel is definitely rising. In the main, it's falling in the diaspora. This is because of relative birth rates. There are a few countries where Jewish population continues to increase. In the diaspora, those would be the United States, Canada, Australia, and ironically, Germany. Most of the other countries in the diaspora are losing Jews. They're losing Jews to emigration, to death, through old age, and Israel, again, has a increasing Jewish population because of immigration and also because of relatively high birth rates among the Haredi, or the observant Jews. So that's basically the story, and I was surprised when I started asking people who I thought would know how many Jews there are in the world, that generally speaking, they weren't very clear about it. So I hope this has been informative to you, and if it has, again, please share this link with friends. And until next Monday, with Music Monday, this is Rabbi Kenneth Hahn for JUTV saying Lehitraot. See you later.